Imagine growing up in a world in which 1 in 4 women and 1 in 18 men have been raped or sexually assaulted, where 1 in 6 children have been sexually abused, a world in which boys and girls receive unwanted sexually explicit images, where 79% of young people have encountered violent pornography before the age of 18. Thank you. Some as young as 9. Where due to a rapid rise in sextortion cases, which is a type of online blackmail in which someone threatens to share sexual images of you, a national all-school alert is sent out to warn young people of the dangers of this crime, which has already resulted in a number of people taking their own lives. Where fewer than half of people can identify common truths about rape, and worryingly, understanding and attitudes about consent are regressing, and harmful myths are more prevalent among under 25s. I'm not reading you a passage from a futuristic dystopian novel. I'm stating facts and figures from national and international organizations such as the World Health Organization, Rape Crisis, and Ofsted. This is our world currently today. The good news is that together we can change that. My name is Monica Bogle, and I'm a parent, a former lawyer, and the director of the School's Consent Project, the SCP. In 2015, our founder, Kate Parker, a criminal barrister, fresh out of law school, found herself having too many conversations with too many friends who had been subjected to some form of sexual harassment or violence. In her professional life, she was acting in numerous cases involving children and seeing the devastating impact of sexual harm on young lives. She thought, had the right conversation been had at the right time, that young person might not have been on the wrong end of a criminal prosecution. And so the SCP was born. Our mission is to democratize access to the law so that all young people make more informed, ethical decisions about relationships, so that they are positive, fulfilling, and fun, not fearful. We believe that sexual harm is preventable, but prevention doesn't start with the criminal justice system. It starts with us, and crucially, it starts with education. This is the premise of the SCP. In a nutshell, we send lawyers into secondary schools to deliver comprehensive consent education to 11 to 18-year-olds. These are formative conversations on a serious topic. And by using a lawyer-led model, we ensure that our students' questions are answered authoritatively and accurately, and that we can bring our real-world experience into the classroom. Our 1-hour-long workshops cover the meaning of consent in legal and non-legal contexts, how to identify and articulate it, various sexual offenses, including sexual assault and rape and sharing nudes, the impact of AI and the online world, bystander intervention, ages of consent, how to respond to disclosures, and where to go to obtain help and support. We engage our students through a structured yet highly interactive approach, providing clear-cut, objective information to make that law accessible. And then we illustrate key messages by playing games, using real-world scenarios and examples to ensure it's relatable. We encourage active participation through peer-led discussions, and we debunk myths, giving young people a safe space to explore, to challenge, and to be challenged without shame or blame. Consent education is more impactful when everyone is involved in the conversation. So we work with young people in all types of school. The majority are mainstream state schools, including single-sex schools and co-ed schools. But we also work in independent schools and specialist settings such as pupil referral units, special needs schools, and religious schools. We've started to complement our program with parent workshops and teacher training, and expanded our reach to other young and adult audiences, such as football clubs and the military, the RAF specifically. We know our intervention works. 90% of students felt more empowered to make a decision relating to sex and consent after our workshop. 93% would recommend our workshop to other students. Schools experience disclosure spikes, which is basically young people coming forward and saying something happened to them after our workshops, proving that we give those young people the language and confidence to identify wrongdoing and seek that support. And students also tell us we are effective. This is something a year 12 boy said, so a 16, 17-year-old boy. Your talk was so eye-opening and informative, and it really meant a lot to all of us. You made such a heavy subject feel approachable and gave us some seriously valuable insights and life advice. It's not easy talking about this stuff, but you make it very interesting and entertaining. When the idea first came about, the founder's hope was to speak with a handful, maybe 50 students at her former school, and she thought that would be a success. Now, through our network of 300 plus lawyer volunteers, we've educated over 60,000 young people in the last 10 years. We're really proud of this. However, this is still a tiny fraction of the young people who need this vital education. Our ambitions are high. We want to reach 200,000 students per year. That's roughly 1 in 3 of every eligible school-age child in England. This target is the most straightforward way of achieving a cultural change across schools, a behavioral tipping point, at which stage those who are educated about consent should be responsible for the prevailing culture and attitude in classrooms and then beyond in the real world. Tonight, we hope to raise a minimum of £10,000, which could fund 66 of our workshops. That would mean making 2,300 young people consent literate in some of the schools that are least able to afford it and putting them on a better life path. Beyond this room, you can also support us by talking about our work, introducing us to any schools that you are connected to, or lawyers who might be interested in volunteering. That might be the bell. I'm always told in school workshops, you should never go past the bell because students decide that they're going to stop listening to you. Ultimately, what I'm saying is that together we can empower a generation to navigate consent, have respectful sexual relationships and all relationships, and create a safer, more compassionate society, one classroom at a time. Thank you very much.